Hi, this is Susan for SLC Aquatics, hashtag FishFemMom. I just wanted to reminisce a little bit about the Aquaticon in Knoxville, Tennessee that I was able to participate in. I drove up on Friday and got there early because of some miscommunications, but no big deal, because I was able to volunteer with the setup, and it was such a wonderful experience. The first person I ran into was Carrie, Science Gal Aquatics, and her husband Jesse. And we buzzed around town individually and drove over to Aquatic Marine, and I finally got a hold of James and said hi to Bob Kaler through messages and Chattanooga Ed, and then I think we were allowed in afternoon on Friday, so we did the setup. I think that evening we went with Sean Peck and his beautiful wife Holly over to Blaze Pizza and had some pizza. And then I just fell asleep on Friday. And when we got up Saturday morning, of course, it was the VIP early entry at 10, an hour before the event opened, and we got our goodie bags and dropped our raffle tickets into the grand prize box for the aquarium stand, and I think a light and a filter and a heater or something like that. That the vendors that started showing up on Friday was exciting. I think Dustin's fish tanks made it Saturday, probably around 11 o'clock, I want to say, 11 or 12. And he had a nice booth set up. He said hey on one of my videos, but I didn't get a picture with him. But if I start naming names and leave somebody out, please forgive me. Fish Room Fever, Chattanooga Ed, TN Aqua, Lefty 321 3A, Mike's Fish Barn, and Tiffany White showed up, and then I ran into Rack and his lovely wife. Oh, and I have to mention, after meeting Science Gal and Jesse, I was parking and this woman starts approaching me, and I look on her shirt and it says CJ Black. I said, CJ! We have a long history with the Fish Fam, because she let me home her yo-yo loach, Henry. And a couple years later, when I was closing down the fish room temporarily, she wanted him back, so I sent Henry back to her. And so she said Henry's still going strong, still being a pest to some of the fish, but he's doing well. And I met her lovely husband David, and oh wow, it was just a great reunion. James's wife Shy, and I met Austin of Fantastic Fish Tanks and Sarah, and we just had a wonderful time. It was heavy on the salt water. Kenny is awesome. He's awesome to work with, and him and James and the staff and the employees and the volunteers all worked very hard to pull off a really, really great fish conference. And, you know, with the first being at the first, it had some things that's going to be tweaked, and we need to really encourage the freshwater vendors to come out. I met Reef Nutrition. I met a local group there in Tennessee called ETAA, Eastern Tennessee Aquatic Association. Those guys were wonderful. And also MB Bettas that came up from Florida. We had a group of vendors that came down from Pennsylvania that were they had frags and corals and such. And of course Grant and Shelby of the Garden of Eder had a nice booth with plants and shrimp, and I think they had some freshwater fish. There was a local Tennessee vendor there that had cichlids, and I met him a couple years in Chattanooga. I cannot remember his name, forgive me. And there was a reptile an exotic vendor, and the most interesting vendor to me, besides Aquatic Marine's booth, they had axolotls and plants and driftwood and merchandise and more foods, koi foods, and but her name was Tia Davis, I do believe, that she's local there in Tennessee, and she makes a solution that you can add to dry or live rocks that helps establish your saltwater tank for up to 6 months. And through that process, you're able to adhere rocks together or sprinkle it even in on the substrate. And she has been able to raise live plants from spores. And she showed us some of the live saltwater plants. So anyway, that's my recap. And of course, Chattanooga Ed topped off the event with an excellent selection of a Mexican restaurant Saturday night called Monterey, and Mexican restaurant, and the meals and the fellowship was just awesome. And forgive me for those that I did not call. I'm going to do a second recap soon. So, love you. Touching lives one fish at a time. #FishFamMom.